You're watching HCAM TV.
Good evening and welcome to the Gathering in Quarantine. I'm Terry Malisi and joining me is Mike Tarosian. Hi, Mike.
Hey, Terry, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about you?
Fantastic for being the end of summer.
I know. So I want to say hi to all the viewers, and I want to say I'm hoping all of you are well during this different time that we're having upon us. And yes, as Mike mentioned, it is the end of summer. So this is an end of summer dinner. I hate to say it because I love the summer, but what does that mean? What's coming up? What's coming up this weekend? What's coming up tomorrow night? Can I hear it? Are we ready for some football?
You know it. Long overdue.
Long overdue. And granted, there won't be a lot of noise from the stadiums, but I believe there'll be a lot of noise coming from the homes.
That's about it. That's the only place you can watch them.
That's right. So for an end of summer dinner, as you can see, we're having all of my favorites that really scream summer. We have a seafood tower, we have steamers, we have lobsters, and then we're going to finish it off with Blueberries Jubilee. How do you like that?
I love it. Blueberries are perfect. This is the time to pick them. You got it made right there.
Absolutely. So I'm just going to turn up the heat for the steamers. I've got the water going for the lobsters. And what I want to do is talk a little bit about the lobsters while I'm waiting for it to come to a boil, which we're almost there.
Sure.
Now, these are hard shell lobsters. They, they're live, and you never want to pick up a lobster from the claws or the tail. You want to pick it up from the body. And you can see he's moving. He's kind of like, oh boy, I think I know what's coming. And you can have them steamed, but if you take them, however you do it, you want to keep them in your fridge and make sure they're either in a bowl or a bag because they need to breathe to stay alive. Okay. So these guys are about ready to go in. You can see him, right? He's like, ooh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's just it boiling. So because I'm going to boil these for about 25 minutes, I'm going to plop them in. Okay. And one thing I wanted to mention, now this guy's a little bit livelier, as you can see. Now watch this. I'm going to demonstrate how you can put this guy to sleep before you put him in the pot. So you see right here?
Yep.
You want to rub it and keep rubbing it. And you're going to see his claws and his legs fall right down. Can you see it?
Oh yeah.
Can you see it?
You're like the lobster whisperer.
Yeah. So, they are on the bottom of the food chain, which is why they get thrown into a pot. Mm-hmm. But if you have the time, and he's fighting it. He doesn't want to go to sleep. But basically, if you sit here and do this for about 5 minutes, they really go limp and they go to sleep. And, caldemage, there they go, in the pot. All right, this guy is going in. And then this guy, so sorry, is going in too. Now, I have this, and you'll see me when I take the lobsters out, I use this pitchfork, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to put it in between the body and the tail. So you don't have to touch it. It's going to be hot and dripping, that boiling water. So you go like that, hold it up, drain the water, and then you put it
Right.
in whatever container you're going to use.
Okay.
So I'm going to keep this over here. They're in there, and they are down here. That's going. Now, next, and it's live, you want to wash your hands.
Terry, I'm not sure if I lost
What
you.
I'm going to do is I'm going to start sauteing, actually simmer, let it go. Okay. So, we've got the lobsters in. Them because the steamers are going to go at the same amount of time.
Okay.
But I want to talk a little bit about steamers. They are soft shell clams. Okay.
Yep, we have you freeze it up a little bit, Terry. Not sure why. I don't know if you can hear me.
Regurgitate.
And I believe we lost Terry. Here, oh, she's coming back. Folks, sorry for technical difficulties. Looks like we maybe have a little bandwidth issue. Terry, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, all right. It seems like you're back. Let's see if we can keep this going. I hope. Well, you just stopped.
Them in water so that they can purge the sand that's in them. Now, I'm sure everyone who you go to eat them and sometimes you get sand when you bite into them. That's not good. Nobody likes a sandy clam.
Not
So
at
if
all.
you take them home and soak them in water a day before and keep changing the water, they're going to be great. So right here, I'm going to put them in my steamer. And this is perfect because it fits right in my pan. So I'm going to put this on top of my pan, cover it with tin foil so that it steams. And then we're going to use the broth so that you can clean the clam before you dip it in the water, in the melted butter. And even soaking them, there shouldn't be any sand. You always want to make sure that there isn't. So, and plus, as you're sitting there, it's always nice to sip that clam juice, right?
Right. Yeah, you'd like to have some in between while you're waiting for it to come. But yeah, that's like you said, no matter how much you wash them and drain them and wash them and drain them and so forth, you're bound to have some. And it's nice to get that last little dip in there before it goes into that nice melted butter.
That's right. Now I'm going to put this over here for a second, just so that I can do this without any issues. I'm going to move this pan back. You see how perfectly that fits?
Nice.
Of course, it came together, so that's why. But if you don't have that, right, you use a big pot and you put a colander. And I've done that for years before I got this.
Yep.
So whatever you do, it'll work. But you just want to make sure that you cover it nice and tight, because you need to steam it. And the steam is going to cook the clams. Now, this butter is already melting, so I'm going to put it maybe on 2. Okay? So, how do you like that so far?
Oh, so far, hey, I got a question. Those flowers are beautiful there. Where'd those come from?
Well, these flowers came this weekend. I purchased them to celebrate the engagement of my daughter Chelsea to Ben. So, Ben, I want to say welcome to the family. We're so excited. You two are getting married and you're engaged, and we just wish you all the best for the future, and many, many, many years of health, happiness, and everything that marriage can bring. So yeah, that's what these are for.
Fantastic. Chelsea,
Yeah.
congratulations. I love hearing it. I love when I find out that one of my girls from coaching soccer and softball, I still stay in touch with just about everyone from the teams. And Chelsea, is near and dear to my heart as well. And I already sent my congratulations to her, but I'll say it here. Ben, Chelsea, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. I'll tell you, we've been celebrating all weekend. And, it's like when you have this much love in your heart, right? I think every day is a celebration and a blessing.
Sure.
So, yeah,
Sure,
so that's the good news there. And so we've got the lobsters in, we've got the steamers going. The lobsters are cooking nicely. Okay, now I didn't set the timer, but I'm thinking 7:35. Okay, I'll be pulling those out.
That sounds about right.
Sounds about right. Yeah. So now we can talk a little bit about the seafood tower. Now, everybody, right, who likes seafood has to like a seafood tower. And I have to say, I've had plenty of them all around, but the best one was with Chelsea when Chelsea and I were in Paris celebrating a big birthday of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a 3-tier seafood tower. And I'll tell you, you just sit there for hours eating everything. And that we did,
Sure.
This is a mini tower, so not as much, but you're gonna want to, start with putting the ice in the platter so it can get nice and chilled and make a nice bed for the presentation. And this obviously keeps all the seafood nice and chilled, right? So when you're entertaining family, friends, whatever the celebration, you sit down and you have one of these. And if you have a large enough table, you're going to need 2, because
Sure.
people love these things. They love the shellfish. And yeah, so you want to be prepared. So
what kind of seafood is going to this tower?
as you may guess, we have quite a bit of food here. I only did 3 types: Alaskan king crab, shrimp, and little necks. Now, the little necks, they come in all different sizes. Little necks, cherry stones a little bigger, quahogs even bigger. And the bigger clams usually go in the stews or the soups or the chowders.
Yep.
These are the ones you want to eat raw. And here's my trick. So to open them, I'm not very good about, now oysters, I can open with a knife, no problem. But the clams, I don't even want to test it. So what I do is I put the clams in hot water and I let them soak. And here's the thing, and it's tap water, so you're not a little bit, okay? So you want to put the clams in hot water for about 2-3 minutes, maybe 5. So you go about your business, you do other things while this is happening, and you can see the bubbles, they're coming up. So, and that's always a good sign. You want clams that are alive.
That are alive, sure.
That's right. So as they're sitting here lulling, I'm going to put this aside and talk about, I want to talk about Alaskan king crab. Now, isn't that beautiful?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that just beautiful? That is a claw, and this is a leg. Okay.
Yeah.
And again, beautiful. Now, if you're a seafood lover like me, and here's some little extra meat just hanging on the plate, which I can't let just sit there, right? Sorry. You can buy the crab like this. Obviously, it's the only way to buy it because it's coming from Alaska. And because it's already cooked and most likely frozen, you can just let it thaw. You don't have to steam it. You can steam it, but I like it chilled. So I'm going to put that over here, I guess. And I want to get, I want to get a nice area for it. Alaska, you've heard me say I've been to Alaska, and I went in July, beginning of July, 1986, I believe it was. And I had big plans. That's all I was going to eat, morning, noon, and night, Alaskan king crab. And it was out of season. So,
Oh, boy. Oops.
zip. Yeah. So I was disappointed food-wise, to say the least. But we had a lot of halibut, and the halibut's very delicious, and salmon right out of the Bering Sea. So it wasn't like we were suffering food-wise. But yeah, so I wanted to have them on this platter. And over here we have shrimp. So the shrimp is basically cooked, shelled, deveined, very simple, right? So I can just place these on the platter all over the place, saving some room for the clams, okay?
Oh, yeah. Gotta get them in there.
Gotta get those in there. But you want to make sure that the seafood is all sitting on a nice piece of ice. Okay, so that's good. Okay, and I'm just going to rinse this off. Get this out of the way.
So I'll just review for everybody that we have going to the town. We have the large shrimp, Sheldon cooked, little neck clams, Alaskan king crab claws and legs, and you're gonna have some cocktail sauce and fresh lemon in there as well.
That's right. That's right. So we have the lemon here that I'm going to cut, and I'm going to make cocktail sauce, which is very simple. I'll get to that in a second. So what you want to do is you want to look at the clams, and you can see which ones are starting to get a little sleepy. They start opening up a little bit. You want to make sure you have a sharp knife, and I want to say, I might have the wrong knife. This is a little not serrated. And see, so with these, you have to keep trying and trying and okay. Yep, nope, nope, nope. Okay, so now when they don't open like this, you're gonna empty out the water and put more hot water in.
Because right now it cooled down prior to their temperature. So now we're gonna heat them up.
That's right.
Warm them up, loosen up, open up, you'll be all set.
And it's not unusual to have to do it a couple of times.
Right. So now, what was it like shopping for everything? Were the prices really low because of the restaurants being closed, or were they about normal?
Well, lobsters have been on sale. So, and that's basically for the end of summer, you know. And they'll jack back up, no doubt, sometime soon. But for the most part, I got everything at the Price Chopper.
Wow, right around the corner.
Right down the street.
That's
So that was pretty good. I have my lemon here. What I like to do, I like to cut off the ends because for some reason, you know, those little nubby things, I just would prefer not to have that. And you want to cut your lemon into eighths.
If it was a small lemon, probably a quarter, but those are good sized lemons.
Yep.
We want to do 8.
And I'll tell you, on the fresh shellfish, nothing like lemon. You know, a lot of people do the cocktail sauce, the horseradish on the cherry stones. Usually, I do just lemon.
Just
And I love horseradish. Love it in a lot of things. But usually that's how I roll, lemon. Because I don't want to kill the flavor and taste of the shellfish.
Sure. It's just like myself, the first time was just this year. Someone suggested that I use some Tabasco sauce on my stuffed quahogs. And they says, oh, yeah, you got to add it. No, put more on, put more. It's like, I love the flavor of the quahog. Why would I want to taste hot sauce? Would I like to feel the hot sauce, a little flavor? But, you know, you put too much and now you're just eating hot sauce, no matter what you can. I could put hot sauce on bread. I wouldn't know the difference.
Hot sauce is wonderful.
Hot sauce
have
is
to
good.
say.
Yeah.
Okay, doke. Oh boy, so this counter is really getting its juice tonight.
Oh yeah, yeah. Nice and
For
shiny.
sure. And it's a beautiful thing, I have to say.
So would you believe I have never seen homemade cocktail sauce?
Oh, very
Never.
simple.
Never,
Now
never seen
here
it.
we go. Look at this. You see?
They're
And you
cooperating?
can use any kind of knife,
Oh, there you go.
right? You
Yep.
want to get on the insides, on the sides, okay? And you see?
Yep.
And I leave them just as that. You know, when you get these out in the restaurant, they put them them all on the half shell. You know, they scoop one end,
Right.
put it in on one. I don't serve it like that. I keep them right in the shell so that not only do you get to do it yourself, but on each shell, you've got the muscles that keep the shell together.
Right.
And they're good to eat as well.
Right.
So
I like having the little necks when they're in a sauce when you're making a pasta. I like it how they leave the whole shell there so you get the whole thing.
yes, exactly. Exactly. So here we go here. So you can see.
A lot
There are.
easier.
Now, when I have a gathering, I'll get 2, 3 dozen of these. And I do this ahead of time. And because they're sitting in the water for 5 minutes, literally, you're not cooking them. They're still raw.
Yeah.
Because if you tap it, they'll close. So when they start to open, you want to grab them and make sure. And be very careful when you're doing this. If you don't have a glove,
Yeah.
a mesh glove, which I don't have.
And you know how much I like watching you with a knife in your hand.
I know. I know. I know. I know. So, and you want to be very careful again, which, you know, I tend to be. Now, here's another tip. You've heard me say it before. If the clams don't open, chuck them because that
Chuck
means
'em.
they're dead.
Yep.
And all of these were open. So, another good batch.
That's great.
What I'm gonna
yeah,
do-
you're bound to get 1 or 2 when you buy for your large parties that you always do. You know, you're bound to get a couple bad ones.
Oh, absolutely.
No?
Absolutely. So you can't feel bad about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to take these over to the sink. I'm going to empty this and just rinse them out because I want to get out the
Yes,
sand because unlike the steamers, I don't soak these.
Yeah, this is your last chance for it. You can't.
Okay, now I'm going to grab my shellfish and just rinse off each one of them and then drain it before I put it back in the okay? So I know you can kind of imagine I'm rinsing off the clams, just putting them back in the bowl, and then I will put them on the platter. Now you're doing this obviously because you don't want your guests, getting a mouthful of sand. It's just not good. And here's another thing, okay? And I know it's kind of weird, but I always give it the sniff test. Always. It's got to smell like the ocean.
Yeah.
Because if it smells like fish, it's bad.
Right.
And, you know, you're not going to put your whole face in it so that you're compromising anything.
Yep.
But you get the idea.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the thing. You always, you know, everyone talks by, oh, you walk by the fish market and it's terrible. No, you probably walk by, you know, you might get a whiff from a dumpster or whatever, but you go into a nice fish market, you know, I'm talking old school, there's no smell to it because everything's so fresh.
That's right. And same thing with buying fresh fish, you know, whole fish. Look at their eyes.
Yeah.
If their eyes are cloudy, if the eyes are cloudy, you don't want to buy them.
All right, so we got about 6 minutes left on that lobster. How much time did you say on the steamers?
About 25 minutes.
All right.
And with the steamers, you want to make sure that they open.
Open up.
So you don't want to be opening up that too much.
Right. Yeah, there's no reason. There's no reason to check it.
No, exactly. Absolutely. So I just want to wipe this down and get this somewhat onto our cocktail sauce.
Yep.
Okay. I've got about a cup of ketchup here. I've got horseradish. Now, you like horseradish?
Yes.
You put it in Bloody Marys?
I'm not a Bloody Mary fan, but I like horseradish.
Wicked, wicked, wicked. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Now, I like my cocktail sauce spicy, so I'm going to give it a
Yep.
good hunk. You want to mix it. And I certainly don't think this is enough, quite frankly. It doesn't look like it's enough. Smells like it's enough, but it's not passing the taste test. I mean, the look test,
Right.
right?
And you know when it's enough because when you take a good whiff of it, you feel the tickle. I think you felt the tickle.
Beautiful, beautiful. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in here. Right? And then I just want to give it a good taste.
And that's it. That's all it is to it.
Beautiful. So we have in a nice little fish plate. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, looks good.
That's woo, delicious seafood platter. Okay. Now the lobsters are coming along really nicely. Yep. Then I think I'm going to. Oh, the clams are looking good. I'm going to give the clams maybe another 5 minutes.
Yep.
I'm going to take the lobsters out, and you'll see I have a pan right here. So you see how that works?
Yeah.
You put it right in between the body and the tail with this pitchfork, and you get pretty good control of it.
Yeah, one thing you don't want it to do is splash back in the water at you. Or number two, you definitely don't want to drop on the floor.
That's right. These babies
So how big are those lobsters?
are done. Sorry?
How big are those lobsters?
They're about 1.5 pounds.
Okay.
1.25 pounds to 1.5 pounds.
All right.
I'm going to put these over here because we're going to do some fun stuff with these.
All right.
And what I want to do is get rid of this. All right. And as always, you want to be very careful when you're getting rid of boiling water from a pot. So I do have to say that. Now, the butter, I'm going to turn really down to low. And then in a second, I'm going to start the blueberries. But I want to look at the steamers. So I want to see how they're doing. And they look like they're pretty much done, I have to say. So what I'm going to do is I had another plate. So get this. entertaining. I leave them right in this,
Yep.
but for show purposes, I am going to put them in here so you'll be able to see them nicely. And I want to put the roses back here. I can make a little room for everything. This is for the broth. So we're just gonna put these, and you know, you don't even have to do that, especially if
Dump 'em
you're
right in.
short on time. We have that. Get rid of this.
Yeah, it definitely looks better in a dish.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then put that right there. Then what we're gonna do is we've got this. We've got these cups for the broth. Now I don't know if you can see it, but it's cloudy water, and this is what you're going to wash the clams in. Now here's another little tip. What you want to do is, with a lot of broth left over, you can freeze it in ice cube trays or whatever, let it cool down, put it in those storage bags and freeze it. And then you can add it to chowder, soups, stews, fish dishes, whatever. And you've got that authentic clam flavor, which is just beautiful.
It's nothing like having nice good fresh broth saved. We do that a lot, you know, Thanksgiving time. We do it when we cook the chickens. You save that broth so it makes a nice base for any soup later.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm going to put these over here with my water. And then for drawn butter, there we go. And we have the, I'm going to put this back. That is up. I'm going to keep this warm for the lobster. Actually, I'm going to keep it low. And then here are the steamers. Okay. How beautiful is that?
Outstanding.
Now, for a quick presentation, you want to take the elastics off because you know,
You don't need them now.
you don't need them around. You don't need them now. We're going to leave this guy like that. And then these guys, here's an interesting thing I'm going to try. Now, I haven't done this before, but I'm going to give it a shot.
All right.
And we're going to see how this goes. I might have to let this cool off a bit.
Okay.
But what I want to do, can you guess what I'm going to do?
I think you are going to dress up those cups.
I don't know if it's going to work. But let's see. See how this goes. I don't know if it's the height is going to work.
A little tall.
I don't think these are going to work. So we can try these, right? A little sturdier. And obviously, here we go.
Yeah, this one.
Yay! Okay, you kind of get the idea.
Sure.
But here's the thing, right?
It almost looks like they're having a cocktail.
That's right. Then put a couple of lemon slices. Yay! But again, you know, the gathering, so you get it, right? You get it. Come on, little guy. There you go. There you go. Okay, and then we want to make sure we have the crackers
Oh, good to have 'em.
and little forks. Get rid of this. Then this little guy's just gonna hang out. I'm gonna put this here. Now let's see. I think I'm gonna move him like this. And then move this guy over here. Yay. Okay, and this guy, maybe I'll put this guy over here. I don't know if you can still see him.
I got 'em.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's kind of cute. Now,
You
for
got
the resistance, the Blueberries Jubilee. So, what we have for here, I have a pint of blueberries, fresh. I have 1 cup of water. I have 3 tablespoons of sugar. I have 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 1 tablespoon of water. I have a 1/4 cup of brandy. And I have pirouette cookies, which I'm going to put right over here. And the brandy, I used VSOP, very special old pale, which goes wonderful on its own, in coffee, whatever you like.
Yep.
It's always good. So here I'm going to cook the blueberries, right? I'm going to cook these on, I'd say, kind of somewhat medium heat. Okay. Oh, I'm going to take off the ice cream to kind of soften. Okay. And it's vanilla. So I'm going to put this over here. So I'm going to the blueberries, I'm going to add the 1 cup of water. And then the sugar. Make sure it's not the cornstarch.
Yeah.
Yep. And then you want to actually, so you want to stir that and get that going. And you know, fresh blueberries, you want to make sure you get the little stems off. Okay, we'll get that going. And once that gets to cook, we're going to bring it to a boil. We're going to dissolve the water in the cornstarch.
Right.
So Let me just mix that up. Get that going. Because we're going to add this to the blueberries in the pan. Oh boy, it's 1:15. We're going to be coming right down to the wire,
Down to
honey.
the wire on this one.
Right down to the wire. So I'm going to turn up the blueberries already going. That's good. I've got my matches and a lighter just in case. I don't know how this is going to work, but we'll see, right?
We'll find out.
Okay. I'm going to push this guy over a little bit. Yikes! Lobster down. Okay, now, come on. You got to cooperate. There you go. Because I want to make sure I have this over here when I go to light the Jubilee. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to open up the wine. I have a nice Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh, very good.
And I think, I'll tell you a funny little story. The only time I've ever had, yikes, the only time I've ever had Cherries Jubilee was when I was in the 8th grade. I was in the 8th grade, and one of my friends who was a, student, we volunteered to decorate the gym for the senior prom in Holliston. And, okay, so this is boiling. I'm going to let this go for a few minutes. Okay. I'm going to cook those for 5 minutes. Okay. So it's been in there for 3, maybe 2, maybe some 3. And so because we decorated the gym, we were able to go to the prom.
Yep.
So my date picked me up in a limo, and we had dinner at a French restaurant on Route 9 before the prom. And it was a very nice dinner, and it was finished off with Cherries Jubilee, and the waiter came over with the whole presentation, lit it on fire. I was like, whoa.
What was it? Was it at was the restaurant?
Nope. And I would have to think long and hard because it was a French restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it was on Route 9 in Framingham. So.
Well, maybe someone will watch this video and leave you a comment and tell you the name of that French restaurant. That'd be nice.
Yeah. So I'm going.
Well, you got the classic ice cream scooper. Those are my favorite.
Yeah. And it's the real one that, well, like you said.
Yeah. I hate the ones with the little mechanical scraper in them. They always fail.
Well, I'll tell you, when I was a junior in high school, I worked at Friendly's in Milford. And I'll tell you what, it was a good part-time job while I was in school.
Sure.
And I loved it because I got to make all the fun desserts like the Jim Dandies and the Banana Royals.
And the fribbles. Gotta have the
Yeah.
fribbles.
Yes, that's right. So.
That's a place you can walk into and say, I want Jimmy's, and they know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So there's that. Got that. Okay, so this is good. This is coming into a nice syrup. Okay, so now I'm going to add the cornstarch and the water. Okay, and this is going to thicken it up. Okay. I'll get that going. Okay. It's coming along. Ooh, Looks beautiful. And then I'm going to add my brandy. I'm going to heat that up. I'm going to turn this down. Oh, I don't know about this, Jim. Oh, Jim. Like, you can see how nervous I am, right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna, I don't know, I'm supposed to let that go just a little bit.
Oh, we get 10 minutes.
I don't want the alcohol, though, to burn off.
Right.
So,
That's what the matches will do.
sorry?
That's what the fire will do.
Yeah. Yep. So, what do you think? Give it a go?
Yes. Yeah, why not?
Whew. Maybe matches would be a better,
Matches would probably be safer.
maybe a better thing. Now, these matches, oh my goodness. And you know, I don't smoke, so I don't have matches on hand, right? Let's see. That is not working.
Huh.
So sorry about that, guys. No
No flames.
no flames. Although if I were to put a little more in, what do you think? Give it a go
Yeah, I just put a little.
and try like that?
Give it a try.
It's wanting to light.
Yeah.
But that's it.
That's it. That's enough.
That's enough. But you get the idea.
A for
Don't try
effort.
this at home.
Yeah, that is definitely not for everybody.
Yeah. So it's like, don't try this at home. But you've got the brandy in here, the syrup. Look at that. Is that beautiful?
Oh, that's great.
So even though it didn't flambe, it's still Blueberries Jubilee. And it smells delicious. Okay, this will go back on the stove. And then, of course, we have these pirouettes, right?
Oh, yeah.
You want to put that right in there?
Oh, it's fantastic.
And there's that. Get rid of all this. And then just clean up just a little bit.
So now this here is a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. And
Oh, really?
And you were still able to do it in under an hour.
Yeah. And a real fun presentation.
Right.
If you can like do this so that your guests, if you can do this before your guests get to the table and you balance them, right?
Yep.
And here's a trick. You can put a little something in their tail, like a little skewer,
Sure.
so that, oh, and I guess if you cross their claws, you might have a better chance of them staying up. And then we got this little guy over here just looking, just going, oh, look, those guys are having all the fun.
That is for your guests that can't believe they still have room and they want more.
And this is for me.
That's all.
And here's the H-cam.
I tell you, this was a fantastic way to end the summer. And to get ready.
Absolutely.
First off, you had some fantastic news from Ben and Chelsea, which was great. And, you know, right here, Labor Day weekend just passed, which is the official end of our summer. And what a better way to do it than something simple, but yet still somewhat elegant. I mean, seafood is still an elegant thing to have. The presentation, I mean, you have a tower, the dessert, yeah, you didn't set it on fire, but look at it. It's blueberries and vanilla ice cream. How could you go wrong? But
Yeah.
but this is
Yeah.
a great summer
Exactly.
meal, end of summer. So now
Exactly.
we're not going to be back next week. We're going to be coming back in 2 weeks. Any kind of hint you can throw at us?
That's right. Are you ready for some football?
Oh, I smell a little sports theme.
A little Patriots sports theme. Now, of
Ooh.
course, we're watching the Celtics, right?
Sure.
The Red Sox are playing, right?
Yeah.
The Bruins,
Right, we won't even
kinda like, hit
mention
the
the Bruins.
road.
Right.
I know. But you got to give it to Boston, right? And for the sports and the teams and the fans, because boy, nothing like it.
And I'm going to go one more. The food in New England that comes around the sports. Just the meals and the appetizers that are made in New England just for our sports teams.
Absolutely.
Like the Red Sox, all I can think of is sausage, peppers and onions. Outside the stadium. That's all I can think about when I go.
I know, and you get that at any sports team event, right?
Yeah.
Any game you go to, you're gonna get those sausage and onions and peppers.
Sure.
In the bulkies.
That's right. You gotta have a good bulky roll. You put some mustard on it. I like
That's
the yellow
right.
mustard on mine. I'm a yellow mustard fan.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So yeah, I'm gonna be thinking. I think I'm thinking football.
Good.
A nice football dinner. I'm thinking.
I like it.
To welcome in the season, right?
Absolutely.
And that's tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night is the opening game.
Now the Patriots are playing Miami, right? Squish the fish.
On Sunday. And I'll be working at the fire station, and we're already planning our tailgate food for the game at the fire station. Yeah.
Awesome.
Looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Looking forward to
Awesome.
it. Well,
Yeah.
Terry, this is going to wrap it up for tonight. I want to thank you for another awesome job. And again, congratulations for Chelsea. And I'd like to tell everyone at home, thank you for watching. We'll be back in 2 weeks with some football food. So thank you again, and we'll see you then. Everyone, have yourself.
We sure will.
Have a good night, and don't forget town meeting on Saturday. We'll see you at town meeting.
Stay safe and see you next time. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Mike. Oh my, Freudian slip.
That's all right. I get that all
thank you,
the time.
and thank you, Bob.
Thank Bob for
I bet
keeping
you
us on
do.
the air. If it's not for Bob, we don't get to air.
Yeah.
Well, we managed to get this far, so.
Yeah.
Oh boy.